Hello, Roahm Mythril here once again, and it's time to start up our next project. And as the happy little voice just told us, we're going to be playing Pikmin. We're going to be doing a no-deaths run of the original Pikmin on the Nintendo GameCube, so let's start it up. The memory card I'm using, it's going to need a moment to format and create a Pikmin save file, but it won't take too terribly long. And there we go, already done. So we'll go with File 1, and let's begin. And so, our story starts in the deep, dark reaches of outer space. Our hero, Captain Olimar, aboard the Dolphin, just enjoying a casual space flight. Southbound traffic, please be advised of a 1 meteor pileup. And so, everything comes crashing down. And so we start at the impact site. He's okay. The ship, on the other hand. My name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out, and I awoke on the surface of a weird planet. With so many parts lost, the skeletal hull of my beloved Dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high levels of poisonous oxygen. My life support systems can function for only 30 days. If I can't repair the Dolphin by then... No. Better not to think about it. I must find the missing ship parts. And so, we're left to wander on our own. Only one thing we can really do for now, though. And that's to activate this thing. A strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion, too. And soon, the seed shall sprout. The seed that the onion dropped took root in the soil, and has now produced an adorable little sprout. This sprout emits a strange light, and it sways back and forth without benefit of wind. I cannot help but think it is calling to me. I'm compelled. I must approach it, and press A. Except we're going to wait for a moment. If you actually have time to do so, sometimes it can be beneficial to wait for a sprout to mature a bit. And since on day 1 they're not going to give us a time limit, you can kind of take advantage of this fact. And through the magic of time-lapse photography, or videography, well, first Olimar wants to talk about the sprout again. The seed that the onion dropped has turned into an enchanting sprout that gives off a mysterious light. Could there be a reason the onion waited for me to arrive before sowing its seed? Perhaps something will happen if I approach the bud and press A. Courage, Olimar! Well, it's not a bud yet. Now it's a bud. But we're still going to wait a bit longer. And now it's a flower. And that's as good as we're gonna get. Behold! Extraordinary. When I plucked the sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. Picking it has done no visible damage. It just stands there, staring at me. Its shape is similar to the Pick brand carrots I love so much. I believe I shall call it a Pikmin. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting to survive, and yet I'm intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall try to grab it and throw it with A, and I will call it to my side with B. Perhaps it'll react to C and X as well. The following controls appear to allow me several viewpoints. L. Rotate camera. Hold to follow the cursor. R. Zoom in and out. Z. Change angle. I must survive. I need to familiarize myself with these controls and my surroundings. And so we have our first Pikmin. There is a reason I wanted it to go ahead and become a flower. The adornment a Pikmin has, it purely determines its speed. We'll get back to that in a moment. It wants to tell us about what just happened there. Astonishing! The onion has sown more seeds. The small red pellet the Pikmin harvested after cutting down a flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be a sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. But yes, whether a Pikmin is adorned with a leaf, a bud, or a flower, that purely determines the speed at which it can accomplish various tasks. It doesn't give it extra attack power or anything like that, but speed is a key thing. After day 1, we're going to have to contend with a time limit. That being said, the faster your team is, the better. In Pikmin 1, you could do what I'm doing here, take advantage of a timeless day in order to get as many flowers as you can. In Pikmin 3, I believe, that particular feature was taken away. It's a bit of a trade-off, though. In Pikmin 3, flowers were permanent. In the first game, not so much. Various things can make Pikmin lose their flowers. So basically, we're just going to build up a small army for the early part of the game, to at least get a fast start on things. As packed as my schedule is for day 2, I really kind of want any advantage I can get. I'll have to toss you to get that, I guess. Just couldn't direct you onto it. Now this pellet has a 5 on it, meaning I'm going to need at least 5 Pikmin to carry it. The single one that I have so far isn't exactly going to do anything. So, we're going to have to wait a bit. Because yes, I'm waiting for more flowers. And so... Here in the Pikmin fields of Ernest and Julio Gallo, we will pick no Pikmin before it's time. And there we go, everything flowered. A word of warning, if you leave a flower in the ground too long, it will cycle around back to a leaf. So don't take too long gathering the flowers. And with that we have an army of 9. And thus we can finally gather that 5 pellet. When carrying an object, the upper number means how many are needed at minimum to carry that object. The lower number represents how many are actually carrying it. Every item does have an upper limit, so you can't just swarm the smallest object with all of your Pikmin. So that we've gathered all the pellets in the area, so now we need to move on. But there's this thing in the way. And unfortunately, it requires 10 Pikmin to move it. We only have 9. We'll have more after these guys flower. And so, again, we wait. And so, time passes. And Johnson receives, and the crowd goes wild! Everyone all flowered up. Let's move on. And so the army grows. We now have 14. And that's more than enough to deal with this thing. And so the mysterious cardboard obstruction is moved. Convenient that it has a 10 on it. The Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of Pikmin contact. Approach and press A to pick sprouts. Press A to grab Pikmin. Release to throw. Press B to call them. X to dismiss. Use C to command and control the group. L, R, and Z control perspective. I shall record all of this in my computer. I can press Y to access the computer. And over here we have... Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I've already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me. But how will I get it back to the Dolphin? Well, that's something we're going to have to wait for. 14 isn't quite enough to carry it. Captain, we need more Pikmin! And so, let's command the troops and go up here. There's a few more pellets we can grab. I don't want them all carrying that. We want to be a little bit more efficient than that. In the meantime, that's about all we can do. There's this obstruction here, but our Pikmin can't seem to do anything about it. That's something we're not quite ready to deal with. But we do have more Pikmin sprouting. "25 is a rather nice number, though for those last few, we'll have to wait once again." And so on, and so on, and so on. Everything flowering nicely, almost there. Waiting on you two. One more, and there we go. When many Pikmin seeds sprout at once, I find it rather tedious to pluck them from the ground individually. My wife always told me I was no good at routine tasks. I guess I'll try and get it all done at once by repeatedly tapping A until I pick all the Pikmin from the ground. I've noticed that when I add Pikmin to my group, they become filled with excitement and flushed with bright color. At other times they revert to a paler hue and give off a dim glow. Paying close attention to these differences is bound to help me distinguish between Pikmin. Basically all that determines is if a Pikmin is active or not. The pale ones he describes means that they're currently inactive and will not follow you. But there we go, 25 bright healthy Pikmin. All with flowers. It's pretty much the best you can go for on day one, just depends on how patient you are. But with that we'll just swarm the engine. And follow it back as they carry it into place. Yeah, day one isn't exactly the most action-packed. It is pretty much just a tutorial day to get you used to the basic controls, get the engine onto the ship, and get you a few Pikmin to start you off. Waiting for flowers is purely optional, but it does help. Oh, glorious! With the help of these Pikmin, I've taken a huge step back toward home. My ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. But what has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. Indeed, that's all you're allowed to do for day one. From here on out, though, things are going to get a lot riskier, a lot more dangerous, and a lot more hectic as I have a time schedule to keep track of. One day since impact. I've somehow managed to launch the Dolphin, but I was surprised to see the Onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface, or if they merely decided to join me for other reasons. Either way, it seems they'll help me again tomorrow. The Dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hokotate. Analysis shows life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my Dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the keys to my survival, I name it the Forest of Hope. I explore it tomorrow. And, yeah, I'm not sure if it's Hokotate, Hokotate. I really don't know how to pronounce that. Opinions? So we have 25 Pikmin. Nothing lost in battle because, well, we haven't had any battles, nothing left behind. 29 parts remaining, 29 days remaining. We're pretty much on track with the tutorial day and all. So I'll go ahead and save the game. And we shall begin day 2 next time. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series so far, and I shall see you again next time. Until then, fare thee well.